Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishthaya Bhutale Srimate Radhanatha Swami Niti Namine Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishthaya Bhutale Srimate Jayapataka Swami Niti Namine Nama Acharya Padaya Nitai Kripa Pradayine Gaura Katha Dhamadaya Nagara Grama Tarine Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasavi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. We welcome our YouTube Live, Facebook Live, and Zoom listeners. We'd like to congratulate and start by congratulating the devotees who participated in the quiz competition. Today, the quiz session, we'd like to thank
Mother Flavia. We thank Sarojamukhi Indulekha Mataji, Vrinda Gopika Mataji, Lakshmi Priya Mataji, Satyarani Mataji, Rasika Mataji, Hari Prasad Prabhu, Nutan Purohit Mataji. Congratulations to all of you, and we thank you very much for participating in the quiz session from yesterday.
So can we have the slideshow, please? Yesterday, we had a blissful, wonderful celebrations of Srila Prabhupada's disappearance day, and we got lots of blessings, lots of realizations by the sacrifice and the example and the words of the founder Acharya of ISKCON, His Divine Grace, Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami, Srila Prabhupada. So today, we will continue our Sri Vraja Mandal Parikrama and walk from Kokilavan to Sesasayi to Shergarh. And on the way, we'll see Badi Baithan and Choti Baithan. Very, very beautiful pastimes here. We'll go to another Charan Pahadi where we'll have darshan of Krishna's lotus footprint and watch a video. Kshira Sagara in Sesasayi temple. And then finally, we'll end at Shergarh today. Today again is one of the very, very long walks of around 31 kilometers. Typically, we camp at Sesasayi, walk from Kokilavan to Sesasayi, camp there, and the next day is a walk from Sesasayi to Shergarh. There are not many temples in between, so we've combined this 21 plus 10 kilometer walk to 31 kilometers total.
It's actually 31 plus 20.
Oh, 31 plus 20. Okay.
Kokilavan to Sesasayi is actually 31.
This is the longest walk that in the entire Parikrama. We had heard 28 kilometers, and some devotees to encourage us will say, "Oh, it's just 20 kilometers, just 20." So, oh, really? Okay, that's good. That's good. And then we keep on walking, and when 20 kilometers is over, they'll say, "Oh, so much you have walked, 20 kilometers, 10 more kilometers, nothing there." And we're like, really? Okay. Jai, Radhe, Radhe. And then we just continue. So, next slide, please. In fact, so here as we are walking, you'll see from Kokilavan, we walk to Sesasayi, and from there to Shergarh. Next slide, please. So actually at Sesasayi, when we go Kokilavan to Sesasayi, there is the border of UP and Rajasthan. If we are on one side of the road, we are in, Haryana and Rajasthan. We are on one side of the road, we are in Haryana. Another side of the road, we are in Rajasthan. Another walk, we are in UP. So Sesasayi is at such a juncture of this Vrajamandal Parikrama at the confluence of the three states. Next slide, please. we are not able to see the screen. But there's another interesting thing. One time we were just walking, and we were very tired while walking, and Srimati Radharani's, and we said, how long, how far is it? And Radharaman Maharaj, he said, oh, ab to bas dhalan hai, which means it's just now, it's just down. You just have to walk down, down, down. It's easier. You don't have to walk up so much. Don't worry about it. Just here only. And pakka barabar, yahan se wahan. And we were like very encouraged. Oh, wow, this is so nice. Now we can walk. And as we started walking, it actually started going up, 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 up. And we said, "Ye dhalan kahan hai? Where is the downward fall?" Actually, it's like going up and up. But that time when Maharaj told us this, it gave us so much courage to at least give it a shot, give it a try. And then Radharani took us along with her devotees. Next slide, please. So here, sorry, in this slide, previous slide was from Kokilavan to Sesasayi. This is from Sesasayi to Shergarh. Next slide, please. So we walk from Kokilavan, chanting the holy names of the Lord for and following Shri Shri Nitai Gauranga. Next slide, please. And as we walk, we see the beautiful, open, fresh fields of Shri Vrajadham, and you can see the sun. You can see how how this is the seeing this. We can actually see Arunodaya, or we can actually see the three stages of chanting. First is Namaparad. Second is Namabhas. And Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur explains in his Harinam Chintamani that Namabhas is exactly like this sun. When the sun is about, we may not be able to fully see the sun, but we see its rays, the red lalima, reddish hue around it. When the love of God is just about to rise, that is the Namabhas stage. That itself, just like just the rays of the sun, as soon as they are visible, all darkness goes away. Similarly, even if we are chanting on Namabhas stage and we have not come to Shuddha Nam, just at Namabhas stage, all darkness goes away and we can at least be illuminated. And then we continue chanting on the Namabhas stage, and then we get the love of God beyond, which is beyond illumination, which includes illumination of our hearts. Shri Vrajadham ki jai. Next slide, please.
So here one day we see that Krishna Balaram, whenever they would come back, as soon as they would come back from the forest, Mother Jashoda, Nanda Baba, they would be standing with their arms stretched out, and Krishna would literally run into their arms. And Krishna was never left alone. You see that little calf? That calf is also coming to Mother Jashoda. I'm also here. I'm also coming. I'm also coming. So then, they all lovingly embrace Mother Jashoda. That, Mother Jashoda is having so much separation from the whole day, not being able to see Krishna, and that Krishna now at sundown has finally returned home. Next slide, please. So Krishna, Balaram, you see here how even the sakhas, they are, so excited. And, they are so excited that, oh, Maya, we have come back. We have come back. Now what do we have? Okay, Maya now is, just cleaning us up. And then we'll have some nice prasadam. We'll have nice bhoga. So one day when Krishna Balaram came home, that was the day that Balaramji actually had killed Dhenukasura. Where did Balaramji kill Dhenukasura? Please put it in the chat box. Which forest of Vrindavan did Balaramji kill Dhenukasura? Talvan. Yes, Rasika. Good, good, good. Yes, Benita. Good. Talvan. Yes. Yes, it is in Talavan that Lord Balaram killed Dhenukasura. So it was on that day that when Balaramji killed, yes, Tulsi, thank you for the answer, beta. Talavan. So when they were returning from Talvan, when they came to Nanda Bhavan, to Nandagram. That day, Krishna, Balaram, after they got fresh. Next slide, please. Thank you, Bhakti Priya, for the answer. Thank you. Yes, it is Talvan. So then Nanda Baba, they sat in the courtyard. And then when they sat in the courtyard, thank you, Kirti, for the answer. So when they sat in the courtyard, they were sitting and eating some fruits, some refreshments. And then Krishna said to Nanda Baba and to Jashoda Maya, Maya, Baba, you know what happened in the forest today? So then Maya said, Na Lala, what happened? What special happened? So then Krishna is saying that, oh, Dauji Maharaj, he did something very special today. So when, Dao was, Balaram was feeling that, oh, Krishna is going to say something very nice, that Balaramji killed a demon, a wonderful, powerful demon Balaram killed. So then Krishna, he said, yeah, Balaram did something very wonderful today, very wonderful. So Jashoda Maya said, Acha, something very wonderful Balaram did. What did Balaramji do? Tell me, Kanha. Even Mother Jashoda's expectations was raised high by Kanha that, Balaram means he's, powerful. So what did he do? What did he do? So Krishna was so naughty. Next slide, please. Krishna is so naughty. He is, saying, Balaram, see how eager he is. Kanha, tell what I did. Tell what I did, Krishna, tell. So Krishna, after he made such a big scene of it, he just very casually, he said, oh, ek gadhe ko mara. Means, oh, he just went and killed a donkey. That's what he did. Balaram killed a donkey. Like that, Krishna laughed. And when Krishna laughed like this, and Balaram, when Mother Jashoda and Nanda Baba also heard that, oh, Balaramji killed a donkey, a gadhe ko mara. You know what? I mean, the way Krishna presented it, it was, Balaram was very, very upset. He got really mad at Krishna. He said, Krishna, how could you say like this about me? I killed, that Dhenukasura. He was such a powerful ass demon and I killed not only him, but I killed all his associates also, all his, Sangopangas who were there, his associates. I killed all his friends. And you're saying I killed a donkey? How mean, Krishna. You're such a mean, chow mean you are. What is this? How mean of you. So this Balaram was very, very upset, very upset. And then he looked at Mother Yashoda and everyone was giggling. Mother Yashoda is also giggling. Nanda Baba is also giggling. So then when they were all giggling like this, Balaramji said, Maya, from tomorrow, I will not go with this Kanha to herd my cows. I will not go. Tomorrow you pack my tiffin separately and tomorrow I will take my cows and my calves. I will take them separately. I will not go with this Krishna. He's saying, Mane gadhe ko mara, I killed a donkey. That he's insulting me like this. I will not go with Krishna. So then Krishna then started to pacify Balaram, but Balaram was super upset. So then that night when they took rest, next day morning when they woke up, Balaram was still very upset mood. Next slide, please. So Balaram was upset. And then Balaram, he said, okay, I am going separately my way. So Mother Jashoda packed up his lunch and, Balaramji took his set of cows and he took his calves and he came to this particular village a little bit away from Kokilavan, which is called as Badi Baithan. Baithan means sitting place. So Badi Baithan means where Badi in Hindi means big or elder. So where the elder brother came and sat alone by himself, that place came to be known as Badi Baithan. So there's a very beautiful temple here of Dauji Maharaj in this Badi Baithan village. And Balaramji just sat the whole day over there alone. He sat and he sat there herding his cows, but he was missing Krishna. Next slide, please. So this is the Badi Baithan temple of in Badi Baithan. This entire village is actually called as Badi Baithan, which means Badi means elder and Baithan means the sitting place. So the sitting place of the elder brother is called Badi Baithan. Now what is Choti Baithan? Choti in Hindi means, in English, Choti means younger. younger brother. And so where did Krishna go and sit? A little bit in the next village Krishna went and sat. Just around 2 kilometers away from Badi Baithan is this place called Choti Baithan. Next slide, please. So this Choti Baithan is place where Krishna went and sat. So Krishna went and sat here in this village of Choti Baithan. So both the brothers separated out and they both are missing each other. They're separately herding their cows this one full day. And then Balaramji said, "Na, na, na, I can't tolerate separation from Krishna." So then Balaramji, after finishing his lunch, he just came running to Krishna and they met, both of them met at the place in between Badi Baithan and Choti Baithan and said, "Now no more. No more katti, now we are batti." Means no more, being upset. Now we are friends. So then both of them, next slide, please. They just embraced each other. Balaramji was embracing Krishna, said, "No, no, no, Krishna, I can't stay away from you. You tell me anything. You tell me whether I killed a donkey, whether I killed a frog, whether I killed a mouse, whatever you make fun of me, but I will still cannot stay away from you. Spending just this half a day was so difficult for me, so I will not do that." So then this is how both the brothers, they um, met together yet again. Next slide, please. We see how Balaramji is being so affectionate. Then Krishna was also being a little, okay, you were upset with me. So Balaram is trying to pacify Krishna. "No, no, 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 Krishna. I am showering all my love upon you. So please, please don't be upset with me. Let's become friends again." So then both the brothers became the best of friends again. Next slide, please. And then they continued to herd the cows together. And together, this pair became inseparable. Just for half a day, they had separated, but then they again became one again. Next.
So when we went here to Badi Baithan, Choti Baithan, it's on the way from Kokilavan to Sesasayi, and it's just a place where you sit. And actually, right now, a family is taking care of this particular place. So we went to their house. We just sat. We were a little late, but all the devotees came. They opened their house. There's such a big veranda, and they allowed. We came really late, like maybe an hour late after everyone came, and they made us sit together. They gave some chas to the buttermilk to drink. They brought some sweets, and they said, "Please take this." And then we paid obeisances to that place of Badi Baithan, and then we started walking on our way from Badi Baithan, Choti Baithan to Charan Pahadi. There's another Charan Pahadi where the lotus footprint of Krishna is. Next slide, please. In this way, Krishna Balaram, they came together. They were herding their cows again together, and they were just inseparable. After separation, when there is Milan, Sambhog, there is much, much more love that comes out. Next slide, please. And their love became more and more thicker and friendlier. Next slide, please. Shri Krishna Balaram ki jai. And walking, we come to this beautiful temple of Charan Pahadi. Again, if you remember, we had come to a Charan Pahadi when we were walking from Badrinath to Kedarnath to Kamyavan. In between, there was a Charan Pahadi here, and there was just one lotus footprint. In this Charan Pahadi, there are several lotus footprints of Krishna, of Srimati Radharani, so many different uh, uh, gopas. So this here we will also see a video. So here Krishna would come to play with his dear friends, to graze cows. Next slide. He would so lovingly play on his flute again that the stones would melt. And because of that, you can see the lotus footprint of Krishna on this Charan Pahari, where the stones have melted. And not only the lotus footprint of Krishna, but also imprints of the cows and the calves can be seen here. Lord Krishna, he would perform his beautiful, beautiful Rasa Leela. Next slide, please. This is the place in Charan Pahadi near Kokilavan, near Sesasayi, that Krishna would perform his Rasa Leela. Next slide. And then when he would play on his flute, again, stones would melt and there would be imprints of Srimati Radharani's crown. Next slide, please. You can actually see, this is again Krishna Balaram on Charan Pahadi. Next slide, please. And Krishna playing his flute, and you can see Srimati Radharani's lotus feet, but also the imprints of her crown, the imprints of Srimati Radharani's necklace. Even they would melt the stones in ecstasy. In Gopi Gita, next slide please, the gopis lovingly pray to Krishna in verse 7 that, next slide please, this is Sri Krishna, this is the glories of the lotus feet of the Lord in verse 7 of Srimad Bhagavatam in Gopi Gita. They say your lotus feet actually, they destroy the past sins of all the embodied souls who simply surrender to them. Those feet follow after the cows in the pastures, and they are the eternal abode of the goddess of fortune. Next slide, please. Since you once put those feet on the hoods of the great serpent Kalia, next slide, please. Please place them upon us as well and tear away the lust in our hearts. Next slide, please. Pranata Dehina Papakarshanam Trinacharalugam Sriniketanam Phanibhararpitam Te Padambujam Krinukuche Shuna Krindhirichayam. This is the glory of the lotus feet of Lord Krishna. Here we see the lotus feet of Srimati Radharani, Mahabhav Swarupini, Bhakti personified Srimati Radharani, with Krishna touching the lotus feet of Krishna's flute touching the lotus feet of Srimati Radharani. Next, we can play a video of all these different lotus feet in Charan Pahadi by His Grace. So can we please play the video?
So while we are waiting on the video to play, this seventh verse of the Gopi Geet that we sung, that how the gopis are praying that Krishna, Kaliya, he did not ask for your lotus feet upon his head, but you still offered your lotus feet to Kaliya's hoods. This is your magnanimity, O Krishna. And we are begging you that please, just like how you follow the cows, into the forest of Vrindavan, and you are always behind the cows. You're grazing the cows in the forest of Vrindavan. Your lotus feet is melting the stones there. This is the video of the Charan Pahadi. Can we play it? So we are seeing here, this is how it is actually a walk through. It's not that we have to make a huge climb to go to this Charan Pahadi. Charan Pahadi, there are 3 Charan Pahadis in the entire Vraja Mandala. We have
Charan Pahadi, Charan means lotus feet and Pahadi means a hill.
Mountain or a hill. So we've already, as Prabhu said, we have visited one, which is on the way to Kamyavan, where we visited one lotus feet of Krishna. And then when we were at Nandagaon, we saw one more lotus feet of Krishna in Nandagaon. And this is the third one. So you can see that this is not a big climb, but the lotus footprints on all the rocks, almost all of these stones, they are filled with the lotus footprints of Krishna. Here we can see one of the lotus footprints. Just please watch carefully. You can see the lotus footprints of Krishna. There it is, as you can see.
This is the picture that we showed
of the lotus footprint of Krishna. So this is here, and now we keep moving to our next spot. We have followed. This area is called as Rasa Mandala. The place which was rounded with the cement, that is called as Rasa Mandala. And now we are following His Holiness Srila Radharaman Maharaj. He is going to take us to the next place where there is the lotus feet darshan of Sri Krishna. Maharaj will show with his own hands. Please watch carefully. You see, Maharaj is showing the lotus footprints of Sri Krishna. Jai Ho. Hari Bol. Thank you very much.
There are also the imprints of Radharani's necklace and crown and all that. But when we actually go there, we'll be able to have darshan of all of that.
So can we resume the slideshow, please? Next slide, please.
So from Charan Pahadi, we continue walking, and we come to this place of Kshira Sagara. This is at Sesasayi. This is the temple that we go to. This is the place where there is Haryana, Rajasthan, UP together. This is a beautiful self-manifested pond, Sarovar, where Krishna actually told Balaram to manifest here as Ananta Shesha, and Krishna himself manifested as Lord Vishnu. So before we look at the pastime, let's take 3 drops on our head from this Kshira Sagara. Kshira Sagar Kshira means milk, the ocean of milk, which is where Kshirodakshayi Vishnu resides. So this is the Kshira Sagara. Next slide, please. And so here, Krishna asked Balaram, you become as manifest Sheshanag. And then Krishna manifested himself as Lord Vishnu and laid down on Ananta Shesha. Then Srimati Radharani manifested herself as Lakshmi Devi. Next slide, please. And started performing Pada Sevanam. You can see here, 2 hands of Lord Vishnu are behind his head, just making it like a pillow, and 2 hands are in the front. Next
Such a
slide,
sweet
please.
picture of Krishna. Krishna actually manifesting himself as Kshirodakshayi Vishnu.
And Srimati Radharani manifested herself as Lakshmi Devi and started performing Pada Sevanam to Vishnu. Next slide, please. And on the banks of Kshirosagar Sarovar is this very beautiful temple of Sesasayi temple. This temple was established by Maharaj Vajranab, and the deity here of Lord Vishnu on Sheshanag with Mother Lakshmi, they are 5,000 years old, self-manifested deity who were found in this Kshirosagar Sarovar. Next slide, please. This is the beautiful deity. As you can see, that Lord Vishnu is lying down, and on his lotus feet is Srimati Lakshmi Devi. We pray to them to please, you are the supreme maintainer, controller, you're the source. Please allow us to engage in your loving devotional service. Yet you are so merciful that you have given each of us direct connection to you through the holy names, through the transparent via media of the spiritual master. Next slide, please. We'll see him in another Shringar Vesha.
So if you see, the face of Lord Vishnu is to our left, and Mother Lakshmi is on our extreme right, and there is another personality who is wearing the crown, who is in the center, brown looking personality. That is Lord Brahma, who is coming out from the navel of Lord Vishnu. And then behind Lord Brahma are all the devatas, all the demigods are there who are worshipping Lord Vishnu. So this is a self-manifested deity of Lord Vishnu. And let's see another photograph.
Behold the most favorite darshan. Next slide, please. This is the most merciful darshan. Now we can actually see the entire body of self-manifested deity, 5,000 years old, found by Sri Vajranab, the great grandson of Lord Krishna, right here.
Please zoom in so you can see all the deities, all the personalities. Lakshmi Devi is very evident. Lord Vishnu is very evident. If you want to take a closer look at Lord Brahma, at all the devatas, please zoom in and you can take a closer look. This is very, very, very beautiful. This is during the Mangal Arati when their lordships are not so heavily dressed. That's when we can have the complete darshan of the entire deity.
So one time, Srila Prabhupada told one of the devotees that there is Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. From he manifests himself as Mahavishnu. From Mahavishnu's each pore comes out so many different universes. Each universe has Garbhodakshai Vishnu, who is on the Sesasayi, and Mother Lakshmi is actually performing service at his lotus feet, and from his navel comes Lord Brahma, and then on each of the lotus stem there is many planets and planetary systems. In those 14 planetary systems there is the Bhuloka, and in that Bhuloka there is a planet called Earth. In that planet Earth there are many continents. In that continent there is many countries. In those countries there is one country called United States of America, and in there are many states, and there is one state called Los Angeles, and there is many temples, and there is one temple, the Hare Krishna temple, and the president and the devotees are thinking that we are the controller of this particular temple. So Srila Prabhupada was saying, let's keep everything in perspective. Whenever we feel that we are the doer, whenever we get a little arrogant about ourselves, let's keep ourselves in perspective. The source of everything, we are so infinitesimal in front of Kshirodakshai Vishnu, Garbhodakshai Vishnu, Mahavishnu, and their ultimate source, Krishna, Supreme Personality of Godhead. And they are controlling everything. Everything is under their control. If we pray to them, they are, even though we are infinitesimal, they are infinite. They have given us a direct hotline to them. To each living entity has that direct hotline. If we can just chant with helpless devotion, helpless dependence on them. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Direct connection to them. Right there, they immediately respond. The Supreme Personality immediately responds. Garbhodakshai Vishnu, Sheshasayi immediately responds. Who can be more merciful than that? He doesn't have to. But if we call and beg, they respond. This is the merciful nature of Sri Sheshasayi Ki Jai.
So Srila Prabhupada said, if you have like a bag of mustard seeds, what is the position of one unique mustard seeds within that huge bag? So our position in terms of Krishna, we are even nothing other than that little mustard seed. Even tinier than that grain of mustard seed is our existence. So how much, we should really be, thinking less of ourselves and thinking more about Krishna. That is to our benefit. When we do that, then we can live our lives successfully. That way we can be utilized in the service of Guru and Krishna and make our lives a huge, grand success.
Sri Gauranga Mahaprabhu also visited during Brajmandal Parikrama. He had darshan of this deity of Sheshasayi. Next slide, please. And it's described in Bhakti Ratnakar when Lord Chaitanya visited here at Sheshasayi. Next slide, please. On seeing the beauty of Sheshasayi, Lord Chaitanya's ecstasy just increased. And in that state of ecstatic love, he became so overwhelmed. Those fortunate people who saw that effulgence of the Lord, they also became maddened with ecstasy and tears. And these tears, they started flowing from their eyes. All of them concluded this beautiful personality could not be an ordinary human being. Just seeing him, we are feeling so much ecstasy. He must be Sheshashayi Bhagavan himself in the dress of a sannyasi. While speaking, they were continually just gazing at the moonlight face of Sri Gauranga Mahaprabhu ki jai. We pray to Sri Gauranga Mahaprabhu to reveal to us such beauty that you revealed to all the residents of this Sheshashayi. Next slide, please. And then Sheshashayi is also famous for one more thing. When Srila Prabhupada came to Vrindavan to meet his Guru Maharaj, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, of course, he met him at Radha Kunda. From Radha Kund, it is said that there was an announcement that devotees could either go to take darshan of Sheshashayi temple or stay back and listen to the class given by Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. And several devotees, they had come with their families and with everyone. They said, well, class, yes, we can listen to the class, but we have come to Vrindavan Dham. When will we come? We should go look at all the other places. So several devotees left the class and went to the Sheshashayi temple. But Srila Prabhupada, he chose to stay back and listen to his Guru Maharaj's class. Then a couple of months later, during the initiation ceremony of Srila Prabhupada, next slide please, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur commented that Abhay Charan Prabhu is a very sincere and attentive listener. He noted that at that time, he chose to stay and listen and hear. Hearing is the process which is the root of all devotional service. And Srila Prabhupada had great attachment to hearing about Krishna from his Guru Maharaj. So this was noted by Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati. This is what we should try to learn from the example of Srila Prabhupada, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur ki jai.
So generally, we camp here for the night in Sheshashayi after walking for 31 kilometers. But today, since we are on a virtual parikrama and we'll take advantage of that, let us continue our walk for 22 more kilometers to our next destination, to Shergarh. Because from Sheshashayi to Shergarh, it is just a long walk. There's no places to visit as such. So can we have the next slide, please? So as you can see, when we start from Sheshashayi, we actually start the walk is through the jungles, the forest. It is through the forest, and we are keeping a canal, like a stream of water on our right hand side, and sometimes it's on the left hand side also. And then we are just walking, villages after villages after villages we are crossing. And then we hit the main road. Once we hit the main road, then it is again a straight walk down to Shergarh. So there's really not anything to see. So therefore, we thought that we can complete our journey till Shergarh today. Next slide, please. So you can see here, we are walking. That's my mother and myself. We are walking together from Sheshashayi to Shergarh.
And in the front, you can see a devotee. His name is Bhadra Prabhu. Bhadra Prabhu, since several decades, has been attending the Vraja Mandal Parikrama every year without fail. Every year he goes for 30 days around the Vraja Mandal Parikrama.
He's a Prabhupada disciple.
Yes, he's a disciple of Srila Prabhupada, and he's the father of the Mayapuris, Vishwambhar. If some of you know the Mayapuris, group of Kirtaniyas. One of the members is Vishwambhar, and Vishwambhar's father is Bhadra Prabhu. Every year he comes and he's so focused. He'll be just chanting. He'll take darshan of the deities. And one time I asked him, Prabhu, what is the prayer that we should ask this particular deity? He said, I don't know all that. I just ask to please allow me to continue the Vrajamandal Parikrama in this Vrajadham. So he is so simple, so wonderful, very, very sincerely performing the Vrajamandal Parikrama, no other desire. And so that is worth mentioning here and following that example.
And he's a fantastic kirtanier also. He actually almost every evening, he's the one who sings the Gopi Geet at the camp every evening. So it's really wonderful how, in spite of, walking the whole day with all of us, and then he is still enthusiastic to be on the stage and sing the Gopi Geet for all of us. It's amazing.
And every year he does the parikrama with naked foot, no footwear, just walks just like that, barefoot. And that's very, very, I mean, it's unimaginable for me, but all glories to such devotees. There are so many devotees who do this Vrajamandal Parikrama every year. Next slide, please.
So here now we have crossed that jungle area from Sesasayi, and now we are hitting the main road while we are walking towards Shergarh. Now this is the main freeway. So there are lots of trucks, lots of heavy duty vehicles. So we have to be very, very careful that we are walking only on one side of the road, and we keep walking in that way. So we just keep walking. So it is said that so there's basically no places to visit. We just keep walking and walking and walking till we reach our destination, which is Shergarh. Next slide, please. So we reach Shergarh. This is Shergarh. Shergarh is a place which is named after one of Krishna's very, very dear cowherd boyfriends, whose name is Sheikha Gopa. Sheikha Gopa, and because of him, this place is called as Shergarh.
This is where Krishna and Balaram, they would bring their cows, herd them, drink nice, fresh water. Actually, this Shergarh is also another name, is Kokilavan. Kokilavan, where the Lord would just play. There's a beautiful temple here of Shri Shri Radha Kelan Bihari Ji. Next slide, please. The beautiful deities of Shri Shri Radha Kelan Bihari. Kelan means to play. Kelan Bihari means one who roams around and plays. Shri Shri Radha Kelan Bihari Ki Jai. We pray to them to please allow us to assist in your pastimes of playing pastimes. Be the servant of the servant of the servant, just somewhere in the back, assisting in seeing in your enjoyment. Shri Shri Radha Kelan Bihari Ki Jai.
So we'd like to share one personal experience about what is the magic of the dust of Sri Vrajadham. There is magic in that dust. Because one time when we were doing the parikrama, I actually got very sick. I had suddenly while walking, I just developed a very bad stomach pain. And, Prabhu and my parents, they just said, pick up the dust and rub it in the stomach. Pick up the dust and rub it in the stomach. Magically, my stomach pain was gone. It was just gone. And that time we were walking through fields. Generally, the doctor's car, they also come along with the parikrama, so that if any devotees during the parikrama, if they're sick, the doctors can come and help them. But, because we were walking through the fields, the doctor's cars were going through the main road and they were not there with us. But when we reached the main road, but that entire field, walk, the dust of Vrindavan magically sustained me. Every time I was rubbing the dust on my stomach, it was, all pain was disappearing. I truly experienced the magic of the dust of Sri Vrindavan Dham. And then when we reach the main road, at that time, there's the homeopathy doctor. He is a disciple of Shri Jayapataka Maharaj. And he is an amazing devotee. He's been serving also the Brajbasi Parikrama for many, many years. And before giving any medicine, he will just touch it to his forehead and he'll say, Shri Radhe. And we open our tongue and he'll pour 3 drops in our tongue. So the medicine, he says, the main medicine is Srimati Radharani's name. That is the main medicine. So, Jai Shri Radhe, and he'll pour the medicine. So when we came there, the doctors were there and, they gave the medicine and I was completely cured. So this is the magic of the dust of Sri Vrindavan Dham. There's another thing that we wanted to share here. Next slide, please. About the most merciful compassion of Srimati Radharani. You see, the first time when we were doing Parikrama, this is in 2016, when we were doing Parikrama, my mother, she had done the Parikrama in 2002, as we were saying. And she would tell us, Ma would tell us that, the walk from, Kokilavan to Sesasayi, that is the most longest walk. It's a very, very long walk. And, she would tell, oh, we reached in the evening and we all were like panicking. Oh, how much are we really going to walk? How will we walk? But that day, it was so magical that Srimati Radharani, she had magically covered the sun with, the clouds. So there was absolutely no sun. So all we had to do is just walk. But, when the sun is beating down upon us, it is more difficult to walk at that time. So Srimati Radharani, out of her mercy, she actually covered the sun and she made it a very nice atmosphere that day. We were walking through the fields and we were going to Sesasayi. Magic of Srimati Radharani, her supreme compassion. We were able to, walk very successfully to Sesasayi.
As if Srimati Radharani covered the sun with the clouds of her sari, of her anchal. For all the devotees who are performing the Vraja Mandal Parikrama on her supreme most Shri Vrajadham, Srimati Radharani ki jai. Next slide, please. So here again, we can see everyone is so tired, so exhausted, but still the soul is so blissful, ready to continue walking on the dust of Vrajapat. Next slide, please. Next slide, please. So here, today, we went from Kokilavan to Sesasayi and then Sesasayi to Shergarh. Next slide, please. And from there, today we went from Kokilavan again. As we say, we are on the top of the lotus flower. And slowly, slowly, the lotus petals will come down, going to different lotus petals of Shri Vraja Mandal Parikrama. Hare Krishna. Let's end here. And today we will sing, since we went to Sesasayi, to Lord Vishnu's abode, we will sing the Shila Jayadev Goswami's Dashavatar Stotram
from the Gita Govinda.
From the Gita Govinda.
Jai Jagadish Hare, Jai Jagadish Hare. Shri Rama Pukare, Shri Tava Krishna, Dharani Dharana Chatra Garishtre, Keeshavadrita Purva Sharira Jai Jagadish Hare Jai Jagadish Hare Jai Jagadish Hare Vasati Dashana Shikhare Dharani Tavalagna Shashini Kalangadale Murmurvagna Keeshavadrita Shukara Rupa Jai Jagadish Hare Jai Jagadish Hare Jai Jagadish Hare Avakara Kamala Hare Nakhamadbhuta Shringam Dalita Hiranyakashipu Tanu Bringam Keeshavadrita Narahari Rupa Jai Jagadish Hare Jai Jagadish Hare Jai Jagadish Hare Shalayasi Vikramani Malimadbhuta Bhavana Padanakhani Rajanita Jana Pavana Keeshavadrita Vamana Rupa Jai Jagadish Hare Jai Jagadish Hare Jai Jagadish Hare Kshatriya Rudira Mani Jagadavadata Bhavam Snamayasi Payasi Shamita Bhavatavam Keeshavadrita Vrigupati Rupa Jai Jagadish Hare Jai Jagadish Hare Jai Jagadish Hare Vitarasi Vikshurane Dipati Kamaniyam Dashamukha Moli Valim Ramaniyam Keeshavadrita Rama Sharira Jai Jagadish Hare Jai Jagadish Hare Jai Jagadish Hare Vahasi Vapusi Vishade Vasanam Jaladavam Halahati Viti Nilita Yamunabam Keeshavadrita Haladhara Rupa Jai Jagadish Hare Jai Jagadish Hare Jai Jagadish Hare Lindasiya Vidhi Ahava Shruti Jagam Sadaya Hridaya Darshita Pashubhatam Keeshavadrita Buddha Sharira Jai Jagadish Hare Jai Jagadish Hare Jai Jagadish Hare Blitshani Vadrithani Kalayasi Karavalam Dhumaketumiva Kemipi Prakaralam Keeshavadrita Kalki Sharira Jai Jagadish Hare Jai Jagadish Hare Jai Jagadish Hare Shri Jaya Deva Kaviridam Uditam Udaram Shrinu Sukhadam Shubhadam Bhavasharam Keshavadrita Dashavidharupa Jaya Jagadisha Hare Jaya Jagadisha Hare Jaya Jagadisha Hare Keshavadrita Dashavidharupa Jaya Jagadisha Hare Jaya Jagadisha Hare Jaya Jagadisha Hare Keshavadrita Dashavidharupa Jaya Jagadisha Hare Jaya Jagadisha Hare Jaya Jagadisha Hare
Jai Shri Dashavatar Stotram ki
Jai
Srila Jayadev Goswami ki
Jai
Srila Prabhupada ki
Jai
Srila Gurudev ki
Jai.
So we'll read the quiz questions today, and after that we'll open up for questions and comments.
Haribo.
First, what is Namabhas and Shuddhanam compared to? Second, name the forest in which Lord Balaram killed Dhenukasura.
Third, what's the pastime behind Badi and Choti Baithan? Fourth, what's the significance of Charan Pahadi?
Fifth, what form did Lord Krishna and Lord Balaram take at Sesasayi? Sixth, how did Shergarh get its name, and what is it also known as?
Haribo. Wonderful questions. Thank you so much. So now maybe please open the lines for any questions or comments. Bhakti Priya.
Hare Krishna Mataji and Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam, all glories to Srila Prabhupada.
Haribo.
Hare Krishna.
Mataji, so today I have one question that can we use scissors to cut the manjaris of Tulsi Maharani?
It's better not to. We should not use scissors because it is recommended that we should not use scissors. You can use, that's why when the manjaris are really nice and soft, we should not wait for the manjaris to get very hard. So when the manjaris get very hard, then it's very difficult to, like separate them from Tulsi Maharani. So when they are soft, tender, at that time it's very easy to just pluck them. So when they're tender and soft, at that time we should just use both our fingers, actually these two fingers, you can just use that and then just pluck. Like that. Okay.
Mataji, I'm asking this question because Bhakti Vikas Maharaja, he told that we can use scissors only. I asked. He told many years ago.
If Maharaj has said that, then you can do. But if then, but this is what we know, so we just shared that. But if Maharaj is saying that, it may be okay for you to do that. Okay. Thank you. Kirti.
Hare Krishna Mataji Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam, all glories to Srila Prabhupada, Guru and Gauranga. I have a question, but I'm going to let my mom go first.
Okay.
Yeah, Mataji Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam.
Dandavat Pranam.
All glories to Srila Prabhupada, Guru and Gauranga. Mataji, today the class is full. I don't know, today I was meditating on Lord Ranada. I don't know, suddenly I got the today to Vrinda. Really very happy because I didn't expect that. Every day we have been seeing only Krishna, Radharani, everything. Today I don't know, suddenly this Lord's reciprocation or some, I don't know, suddenly I am able to see Ranganatha there. So thank you so much, Mataji. Like it is always reciprocated to devotees like you, like has reciprocated to that, because like I don't know, like from the evening I was just meditating on Lord Ranganatha. I don't know why, but I got a darshan through in Vrindavan.
Hari bol.
So,
Yes.
thank you so much, Mataji. Just I want to have to share this, so I just
Wow,
shared.
that's very
Thank you.
special. Krishna is reciprocating with your sincerity. Thank you,
Thank you.
Mataji.
Thank you.
Okay. Hare Krishna Mataji and Prabhuji. So the parts that I liked in today's class was Charan, Pahadi, Choli, Baithan, and the Sesasayi temple and the Kailan Bihari temple. Radha Krishna looked really beautiful. So I have one question today. So Lord Balaram, he in the first time when he was in Rama Yuga, he was as a little brother, and in Krishna's Yuga and Dwapar Yuga, he was a big brother. And I think I heard in a lecture once he wanted to be a big brother so he can make the decisions, because last time he had to pull to Sita to the forest and everything. Why can if Balaram really wants to like not obey his mother, he can do that, because he's also an type of, not incarnation exact, but it's one of the 10 incarnations of Lord Vishnu. So he can also take his own rights and he can do what's right. Why does he need to listen to his big brother when he can take his own rights and he doesn't need to send to the forest?
Yes, he can do that. And many times he has done that as well. When he chose not to participate in the Mahabharata war because his disciple Yudhishthir was there, and so he went to the for Tirtha Yatra. He chose not to. Krishna did not force him. Although later, when Yudhishthir and Bhima were fighting at the end, Duryodhan and Bhima, I'm sorry. Duryodhan was his disciple. Duryodhan and Bhima were fighting. He came to intervene, and that time Krishna did tell him that, well, you chose not to participate in the war, and now you're coming and interfering. So Krishna kind of asked him not to do that, but very respectfully. And typically Balaram, whatever he says, Krishna follows. If Krishna does not want to follow, he also comes up with lots of excuses, and Balaram agrees, because ultimately Krishna is the source of even Balaram in one sense. So he's playing. He is being respected in the Vatsalya rasa as elder brother, but he participates in all the rasas with Krishna.
And also, as Lakshmana, he actually did share his heart to Lord Ramachandra. Like when, they were removed from the kingdom, when Lakshmana was going, Lakshmana said, I can't see you like this. I'm going to, he would, even when Bharat was coming to meet with Lord Ramachandra in the forest, Lakshman thought that Bharat is coming to attack Lord Ramachandra. He was ready to actually take up his bow and just go and kill Bharat right at that time. That was Lakshmana. But at the same time, he couldn't do much, defiance, because as a younger brother, the etiquette is that, he has to follow what the elder brother says, But he did express his opinions. He did give his opinion that he's not happy. He doesn't like that, he's going to the forest. I mean, that Lord Ram and Sita are going to the forest. So he didn't like that. He did tell his opinion. But that's why he thought that if he is becoming an elder brother, then, he can control Krishna and not let any injustice happen, which he did at many times. But again, Krishna is always Krishna. He can make us think that we are under him, but Krishna will do whatever he wants to do ultimately. So, does that answer your question, Rita?
Yes, Mataji. Thank you, Mataji and Prabhuji, for an amazing session today. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Rita. Thank you. Surit?
Hare Krishna Mataji, all goes to Prabhupada and Guru Maharaj. I have one question today, Mataji. Mataji, do like all the covered boys also have like one minute? It's like Shergarh, for Shergarh, like one the village. You said the covered boy, his name. He had a village name. He got. That's how he got the village got the name Shergarh. Shergarh. So is there villages for the other covered boys like that also?
Well, there is Lota Baba.
Yeah.
There is the Lota Baba is another in Puchri in the Govardhan area. Not in the Vraj Mandal Parikrama, we didn't come across any other names for places after cowherd boys, but some do, some don't. It's just how the place was known as.
Okay, Prabhuji. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Good
Thank
question.
you.
Very nice question, Beta. Thank you. Hare Krishna. We have a question from Rupam. Madhuri, please tell me the significance of removing Mangeri from Tulsi Maharani and also the significance of offering lamps during Karthik. So, removing Mangeri from Tulsi Maharani is something that, because the Mangeri is said to take away a lot of energy. It takes away a lot of energy. So that's why if we remove the Tulsi Manjari and, offer that soft, tender, delicate Manjari to the lotus feet of Krishna, Krishna is very happy with little Manjaris actually. He loves Tulasi Manjaris at his lotus feet. And also then our Tulsi Maharani will grow more lusciously, when we take off the manjaris. The energy is taken up by the manjaris a lot. So when we take off the manjaris, they again branch out like this. The branches again keep growing. They grow more thicker. So that is why we clip off manjaris like that. And regarding what is the importance, there's a pastime, from the Padma Puran about the glories of offering a lamp in the month of Kartik.
One time there was a mouse. This mouse, it entered into a temple. It was late in the night, no one was there, it was dark, but there was one lamp which was glowing. And this ghee lamp had its flame was about to be extinguished, and it was dancing faster than usual because it was about to be extinguished. And this mouse got very much attracted to that particular dancing flame, and it jumped into the ghee lamp, and his teeth got stuck into the ghee wick, the cotton wick which is there. On the other end was the flame, and one other end was stuck into his mouth. So this mouse was trying to get it out of his mouth, out of his teeth, and it was tossing and turning and moving his head here and there in so many different ways. But slowly, slowly, the flame was approaching, and it approached, and unfortunately or fortunately, it consumed the mouse. The mouse was burnt, but right then and there, Padma Puran says, his soul ascended from the body of the mouse to the spiritual world in a four-handed Vishnu form. And it's very amazing, because only in the human form of life can you have the capability to go back home, back to Godhead. Here from the mouse body, he received that. Why was that? Padma Puran explains that even though he did not have a human form of life, but the temple that he had entered was the temple of Sri Sri Radha Damodar in Vrindavan. This was the month of Karthik. In the month of Karthik in Vrindavan, when he was tossing and turning with the lamp, Sri Sri Radha Damodar accepted that he's offering arti to Sri Sri Radha Damodar. And as a result, he got the benefit of offering lamp in the month of Karthik to Sri Sri Radha Damodar. And therefore, even though that was not his intention, he got the benefit of going to the spiritual world of liberation. So if for a mouse who did not have an intention to offer his love, he can get this benediction, to what to speak of human beings who with our intention we can offer our love into the lamp and offer these lamps of love. to Shri Radha Damodar, Yashoda Damodar. So that is the significance of offering lamps to Damodar in this particular month.
Srimati Radharani, she is the presiding deity of this month. She is called as Kartikeshwari, or she's called as Urjashwari, and she is the presiding deity. And when Srimati Radharani comes into the picture, Srimati Radharani actually is so merciful that here in this month, Srimati Radharani, she's actually looking for an opportunity, looking for an excuse to give mercy. That is the great compassion of this month. So if we do even a little bit of service, we get magnitude amount of benefits. So, if the mouse can get so much benefit, going back home, back to the spiritual world in its spiritual form, then what to speak if we can lovingly offer a lamp? Then what benefits we can get? So that is a question to ponder. That is the thing that is mentioned in the Padma Purana. So we hope that this answers your question. Vrinda Gopika Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Prabhuji, Koti Koti Dandavat Pranam. Srila Prabhupada, Srila Gurudev ki jai. Jai Jai Nityananda, Jai Jai Gauranga. Mataji, you explained so nicely about Shri Lord Krishna and Shri Balramji, and they sitting in Nand Baba palace, and so nicely all the Leelas, Mataji, and then Badi Baithak, Choti Baithak, and especially the lotus feet of Srimati Radharani, and the necklace also melted, and Maharaj seen us. And Mataji, you explained so nicely about that mustard seed bag, and we are the one mustard, not one mustard, Mataji. 1/4, 1/4, 1/4, 0.0 our position is. So we should not proud of any seva, because all the seva, whether it's a preaching, whether it's cooking, whether it's a garland making, or whether it's a book distribution, everything is given by Srimati Radharani. So we should, each and every Leela, Prabhuji is explained the realization that we should be humble like a grass. We should be humble like a grass. Srila Prabhupada, Srila Gurudev ki jai, Koti Koti Dandavat Pranam. Hare Krishna, Hare Bol. Prabhu Mataji, please bless, please shower your mercy to each and every Vaishnava. Take us in you take us, all of us, in Shridham Vrindavan Dham. We are not qualified, but please pray that next year we are also take a part in Shridham Vrindavan Dham Chaurasi Course Parikrama. Mataji, please, Prabhuji, you are Dhamvasi. Pray for everybody. Koti Koti Dandavat Pranam. Hare Krishna.
Prayers that your desires, may be spiritual desires, may always be fulfilled. May Srimati Radharani allow all of us to perform Shri Vraj Mandal Parikrama.
Hari Jai Shri Radhe. Hari Hari Bo. Any other questions or comments? We thank every devotee who are such wonderfully commenting and sharing your realizations. It's really wonderful. Surit, you have another question, beta?
Yes, Mataji.
Yes, beta.
Why couldn't Krishna manifest as himself as at Sesasayi himself as Adishesh? Why didn't he manifest?
He has manifested him as himself in so many different places. Everywhere he is as himself. And as you know, in Vrajamandal, all the dhams, holy dham, are there in Vrajamandal. We went to Badrinath dham is there, Kedarnath dham is there, so many different wonderful places. We saw Gangotri, Yamunotri, Ganga, Jamuna, so many, everyone is there. And so he wanted to have the Ranganath also here, Rangakshetra. So he just had this desire to manifest himself as Vishnu. That's why he did that desire, fulfilled that desire at this place. And he became the one who lies on the bed of Shesha. Sesasayi. Shayi means one who lies on Sheshanag. On Sheshanag. That is Vishnu.
And I think you are asking also that why did Krishna not manifest as as Anantashesh? Is that what you were asking also?
Yes, Mataji.
Okay.
Oh, Anantashesh.
Why
not
did
as...
Krishna not manifest as Anantashesh? Why did he tell Balaram?
Oh, well, Balaram, because Balaram is... Anantashesh is the manifestation of Balaram. Of course, Balaram, Krishna is the original Supreme Personality of Godhead. From him comes Balaram. From Balaram comes the spiritual manifestation and all of that. Then comes Pradyumna, Aniruddha, Vasudev, Sankarshan. Then comes Narayan from them. Then from Narayan comes again Pradyumna, Aniruddha, Vasudev, and Sankarshan. And then Sheshanag, Anantashesh, is the multi-hooded serpent of is the on whose hoods the entire manifestation is residing. That is an expansion of Balaram. So that's why Krishna wanted Balaram to take that particular position, and Krishna would take of Vishnu.
You have a wonderful, sweet little sister, right, Surit?
Yes,
Yeah.
Mataji.
Right? So if your sister makes a painting, you also make a painting. But will you then say that, oh, my sister, the painting that she made, actually I made that. Will you do that? No, right?
Mataji.
You will always say, no, my sister did that painting and I did this painting, right?
Yes, Mataji.
So similarly, Krishna always respects his brother Balaram. So therefore, Krishna knows that Balaram is Anantashesh. So therefore, he wanted to tell Anantashesh, to tell Balaram only that you only come as Anantashesh. If Krishna goes, and he can. If Krishna wants, he can also become Anantashesh. He can do that. But Krishna does not do that because he knows that because he loves Balaram so much. So he says that you come as Anantashesh and I will come as Vishnu. Like that. Does that answer your question?
Yes, Mataji. And Prabhuji. Thank you, Mataji.
Thank you, Beta. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Very good questions.
We are very much happy to see you all the time, Surit. Thank you so much for joining us, Beta. Thank you.
Any other questions or comments?
By anyone else?
If not, we can end here. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa
Sindhubhya
sindhubhya eva
evacha
cha
patitanam
patitanam
pavanebhyo
pavanebhyo
vaishnavebhyo
vaishnavebhyo
namo
namo
namaha.
namaha. Ananta Koti Vaishnav Vrinda ki
Jai. So tomorrow from Shergarh, we will be going to Lord Balaram's place, Ram Ghat. And we will be going to, from there we will go to many, many, many wonderful places tomorrow. From Ramghat, we will go to Chirghat, where we will see Goddess Katyayani there. So please do join us on the ecstatic Parikrama tomorrow to Sri Ramghat.